The next morning, she approached Auntie Forma carefully. Auntie, I want to tell you something very, very important. Auntie, please listen to me. I had a vision last night, she began. Your friends, they are not who they seem. They mean you harm. Auntie Forma laughed dismissively. What nonsense are you talking about, girl? Go and do your chores now. Many years ago, in a small village called Oba, lived a little girl named Ihuoma. Ihuoma was no ordinary child. Unlike other children who chased butterfly and play hide and seek, Ihuoma possessed an extraordinary gift. She was a healer and a seer, gifted with the ability to foresee events and heal with her touch. Just because she is a child, no one believed her, not even her parents. She was the only child of Mr. and Mrs. Okeke, who gave her the best of life. One bright sunny morning, Iwama woke up with a heavy feeling in her heart. She had seen something terrible in her dreams. Rushing out of her bed, she ran to her parents, who were preparing to travel to the neighboring town for a business trip. Papa, Mama, please, you must not travel today, Ihuama pleaded. Her eyes was wide with fear. Her parents, though fond of her, did not take her serious. They did not take her warning seriously. Ihuama, my dear, we have to go. We will be back by evening. Take care of yourself, her father said, patting her on the head. But Papa, I saw something bad happening. Please listen to me, she insisted, tears forming in her eyes. Her mother knelt down to hug her. Don't worry, my child. We'll be back soon. You have nothing to fear. We are not going far. Mama, I had a dream, a terrible dream. Your car, there was an accident. Please don't go. Her father smiled gently. Ihoma, dreams are just dreams. There is no need to worry. We'll be back before you know it. But Papa, it felt so real. Please listen to me, she pleaded. Despite her persistent plea, her parents continued with their preparation. Her father loaded the car with bags while her mother packed some snacks for the journey. Ihoma followed them to the car, her heart heavy with dread. Papa, Mama, please, she begged one last time, holding on to her mother's hand. Her mother knelt down to hug her. Ihoma, we will be fine. You are a brave girl. Take care of the house while we are away, okay? We'll bring you something nice from the market. Be a good girl. With that, they got into the car and drove off, leaving Ihoma standing at the gate, her eyes following the car until it was out of sight. She felt a knot in her stomach, a sense of impending doom she couldn't shake. Hours passed, and Ihoma's anxiety grew. She tried to distract herself by playing with friends, but her mind was somewhere else. But the day dragged on painfully slow for Ihoma. She tried to keep herself more busy, playing with her friends and helping her neighbors. But the threatening feeling lingered, casting a shadow over her every move. As evening approached, she sat on the front step of her house, waiting for the familiar sight of her parents' car. She held her hands together, silently praying for their safe return. Just as the sun dripped below the horizon, Ihoma saw their neighbor, Mr. Olisa, running towards her house. His face was pale, his eyes wide with shock. Ihoma, Ihoma, he called out. He was shaking. She jumped to her feet, her heart pounding. What is it, Mr. Olisa? Your parents. There has been an accident. Yaka, I am so sorry, Ihoma. They didn't make it, he said with his voice breaking. Ihoma felt the world spinning around her. Her legs gave way and she collapsed on the ground. Her mind goes numb with grief. The neighbors gathered around, their faces filled with sorrow, but all Ihoma could hear was the echo of her own cries. The news of the accident spread quickly throughout the village. That night, the villagers gathered at Ihuoma's house to offer their condolences and support her. The air was thick with mourning, the walls of grief piercing the night. Ihuoma sat in the middle of the room, surrounded by sympathizing faces, but feeling alone. Her parents were gone, taken away in a moment of tragedy she had foreseen but couldn't prevent. Eldan Kem, a respected figure in the village, knelt beside her. Ihoma, your parents were good people. They will be missed by everyone. But remember, you are not alone. We are all here for you. Ihoma nodded, but the ache in her heart was unbearable. She clung to the only comfort she had left, the memory of her parents, and the hope that somehow she could find the strength to move forward. The funeral was held the next day. The entire village came to pay their last respect. Ihoma stood by her parents' graves, her tears soaking and sobbing so badly. Eldankem led the ceremony. He spoke of the good deeds and loving nature of Mr. and Mrs. Okeke. May their soul rest in peace, he concluded. Ifeoma felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. She turned to see her mother's sister, Auntie Ifeoma, her eyes red from crying. Ihoma, you will come and live with us now. We will take care of you. After the funeral, Ihoma went to live with her mother's sister, Auntie Ifeoma. Auntie Ifoma's home was larger than Ihuoma's, with a big compound and many rooms. At first, it felt like a new adventure. Her cousins Nnamdi and Amara welcomed her with open arms, sharing their toys and showing her around the house. Uncle Emeka, Ifeoma's husband, was kind and fond of Ihuoma. He often bought her sweets and small gifts, treating her as one of his own children. He often buy her gifts, praising her intelligent and kind heart. Ihuoma, you are such a bright child. You remind me so much of your mother, he would say, handing her a new book or a small toy. One evening, after Ihoma's husband had brought home new clothes for all the children, Ifoma's smile faded as she watched her husband hand Ihoma a beautiful dress. Ihoma began to feel a sense of normalcy returning to her life. As weeks turned into months, Auntie Ifoma's attitude began to change. She became increasingly cold and distant towards Ihoma. The chores she assigned grew more demanding, and her once kind words turned harsh and critical. Auntie Ifoma's resentment grew, and she began to treat Ihoma harshly. She gave her the most difficult chores, often scolding her for minor mistakes. Ihoma, why is this floor still dirty? You can't even sweep more properly. Auntie Ifoma snapped. One day, grabbing the group away from Ihuoma's hand, Nnamdi and his sisters watched silently, feeling sorry for their cousin but too scared to speak up. Meanwhile, Auntie Ifoma's best friend Uchenna is the root of the problem. She has been advising her and telling her that the way her husband is treating Ihuoma so nicely is not good. She will snatch your home, oh, she would say. She continuously puts doubt into Informer's mind that she suddenly changed her attitude towards Ihoma. Treat her so badly. She will know her place. Don't let someone snatch your husband away from you. Fear little girls of these days, especially this one that is so pretty. Auntie Forma's best friend Uchenna would advise. The words started to echo in her ears all the time and started to grow something bitter in her. One evening, after a particularly tiring day of cleaning and cooking, Ihoma overheard a conversation between Auntie Forma and her husband. She's too much trouble, Ifeoma complained. All the attention she gets, and you are always buying her gifts. She's not even your own child. The husband sighed. Ifeoma, she's family. Abi, she's not your sister's only child again. And she has been through so much already. That's no excuse, Ifeoma snapped. She needs to understand her place. Despite all this, Ifeoma's husband did not stop treating Ihuoma nicely and as his own child. But Auntie Ifeoma's maltreatment continued. One particular night, as Ihuoma lay in bed, she had another vision. This time, it was of Auntie Ifeoma, surrounded by her friends. They were laughing and chatting, but there was something frightening about their expressions. Ihuoma saw dark shadows looming behind them, whispering malevolent words. Ihuoma sat up, her heart pounding. She knew she had to warn her aunt, despite the risk of being scolded again. The next morning, she approached Auntie Forma carefully. Auntie, I want to tell you something very, very important. Please, Auntie, listen to me. I had a vision last night, she began. Your friends, they are not whom they seem. They mean you harm. Auntie Forma laughed dismissively. What nonsense are you talking about, girl? Go and do your chores immediately. Determined, Ihuoma went to Auntie Forma's husband. Uncle, please, I want to talk to you. It's something very important. Auntie Forma's husband turned to her. I hope all is well. You look frightening. Please listen to me. Auntie Forma is not listening to me. What happened? Ifoma's husband asked. Uncle, please listen to me. Oh. Auntie Forma is in danger. I had a vision last night. She seemed to be in a very serious danger. Auntie Forma's friends are dangerous. I saw it in my vision. Ifoma's husband looked shocked and surprised. He was speechless, but nodded. Hmm, okay, Ihoma, this is too much to swallow. But I will talk to her. Thank you for letting me know. That evening, Ifoma's husband tried to convince his wife to be cautious. Ifoma, maybe Ihoma is right. She's a small child, I know. You might call it a bluff, but what if she's right? You should be careful, oh. Ifoma scoffed. You are listening to a child now? This is ridiculous, my husband. I have been friends with this lady almost all my life. Why would they harm me? Please. Despite his best efforts, Ifoma's husband couldn't sway her. Ihuoma watched helplessly as Auntie Ifoma continued to meet her friends, ignoring the warnings. Days passed and the tension in the household grew. Ihuoma's vision became more and more frequent and more disturbing. She saw flashes of Auntie Ifoma in distress, her friends' faces twisted with malice. One afternoon, as Auntie Ifoma prepared to leave for her gathering with her friends, Ihuoma made a final plea. Auntie, please don't go. I have a terrible feeling about this. Ifeoma turned to her, anger flashing in her eyes. Enough, Ihoma. I have had enough of your visions and warning. You will not dictate my life. With that, she stormed out, leaving Ihoma standing in the doorway, her heart with fear and sorrow. The day had been long and exhausting for Ihoma. She finished her chores and sat down to rest, but unease grown at her. Auntie Former had left early in the afternoon to meet her friends, ignoring all Ihoma's warning. As the evening draws and night fell, the household grew increasingly worried. Ifoma's husband pacing the living room, looking at the clock every few minutes. The children, Nnamdi and Amara, sat quietly, their eyes filled with fear. Where could she be? Ifoma's husband said, barely audible, dialing the phone numbers of her wife's friends. But no one had seen her since she left them earlier that day. By midnight, the tension in the house were noticeable. Ifoma's husband decided to go out and search for her. Stay here and lock the doors, he instructed Ihoma and the children. I will find her. Ihoma nodded, her heart racing with great fear. Auntie Ifoma's husband left. She gathered her cousins and led them into a quiet prayer, hoping for their mother's return. Just before dawn, Ifoma's husband returned, his face with shock, fear. I found her, he said, his voice breaking. She's she's not well. I found her running around the street like a mad woman. He carried Auntie Former into the house. She was unkempt and messy, her clothes torn and dirty, her hair tangled. She muttered inconsistent words, her eyes wide and unfocused. Ihoma watched in horror, remembering her vision. She knew she had to do something. She said to herself, I couldn't save my parents, but I can't let Auntie Former go just like that. She called Auntie Former's husband and told him that he needs to bring his friends here one after the other. You need to call them to come to the house one after the other. The one who did this will confirm immediately she stepped foot inside the house. The former's husband was skeptical but agreed to Ihoma's plan. The next morning, he started calling Auntie Former's friends, asking them to come over one by one, pretending it was a discourse of personal matter. Ihoma sat by Auntie Former's side, holding her hand, whispering some words of comfort. We will help you, Auntie, I promise. The first two friends arrived, concerned and confused. Ihoma watched them closely, but they showed no sign of guilt. But the third friend, Auntie Former's best friend, Uchenna, stepped inside. Something changed. Uchenna's face twisted with guilt and fear. As soon as she saw Auntie Former, it was me. Uchenna suddenly cried out, collapsing to her knees. I did it. I was jealous of her. I wanted what she had. So I went to the witch doctor to harm her. Ifoma, you had the good life, the good job, the good husband, children. You always boast about it, forgetting I'm the opposite. What are you expecting? You expect me not to be jealous? The room fell silent. Auntie Former stopped murmuring and looked at Uchenna with clear eyes for the first time. Tears streamed down Uchenna's face as she confessed everything, unable to stop the flood of guilt. As Uchenna's confusion filled the room, A visible change came over Auntie Forma. Her wide eyes softened and the murmuring ceased. She blinked as if someone waking from a terrible dream. Ihuoma knelt beside her. Auntie Forma, are you okay? Auntie Forma nodded weakly, tears streaming down her face. I am sorry, Ihuoma, for everything. Auntie Forma faced her best friend, Uchenna, her face full of relief and anger. Uchenna, how could you do this? We trusted you. Uchenna sobbed, unable to speak further. She was escorted out of the house by the police, her guilt now a burden she will carry for the rest of her life. And the days that followed, Auntie Forma slowly recovered. Her family rallied around her, providing support and care. She realized the error of her ways and the importance of love and trust of the family. One evening, she called Ihuoma to her side. Ihuoma, I owe you an apology. I was wrong to treat you the way I did. You saved my life. Can you ever forgive me? Ihuoma hugged her tightly. I forgive you, Auntie. We are family. With the dark influence of Uchenna gone, this household found a new sense of peace and unity. Auntie Forma and her husband grew closer, and Ihuama felt truly accepted and loved. She continued to use her gifts to help those in need, becoming a beacon of hope and healing in the village. Years passed, and Ihuama's fame as a healer and a seer grew. One day, a wealthy stranger came to the village, seeking her help. He had heard about her abilities and needed guidance. Ihuama, now a young woman, agreed to help. To her surprise, the stranger revealed that he was a long lost relative who had been searching for her since her parents' death. He offered to take her to the city where she could receive a proper education and use her gift on a larger scale. Ihuama faced a difficult decision. She loved her village and the people in it. She also knew that she could do more good with better resources and knowledge. In the end, she decided to go with the stranger, promising to return and help her village whenever she could. As she left, the villagers gathered to bid her farewell, grateful for all she has done for them. Ihuama's story had just begun, but she carried with her the lessons of her childhood, the importance of love and the dangers of envy and power of forgiveness. The story of Ihuama, the little healer and seer, teaches us the importance of listening to those who care for us, the dangers of jealousy, and the power of love and forgiveness. Thank you for watching African Folk Tales by Mona Family. We're sending a special hug to Flower Love 23 watching from USA. We appreciate your love and thank you for tuning in. Comment below where you are watching from. Let us send you a special hug on our next video. Please don't forget to share this beautiful story to your loved ones and your families and friends. Thank you, goodbye, and God bless you.